everybody, good morning. It's Brayden again. So today is Monday and I am going to do a little bit of a morning vlog. So I'm not really sure what else I'm gonna do today. I'm just gonna kind of see how it goes. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy.
I want to be there and baby dance the night away. I let my head down if I won. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better, so much better. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I want to be silly, baby, dance the night away. I'll kick my shoes off if I want. Let yourself be free and maybe you will find that there is more to life than being pretty. Honey, let's just face it. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better, so much better. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. You can. Baby, let your head down. Be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off. You don't have to hide it. Baby, let your head down. Be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off. Don't hide it. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your box. Beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder.
Okay guys, it's story time. Okay guys, so this is the story about why Josh decided to join the Air Force. So it all started, I was in class in February of 2019 in college, and we were watching some documentaries. There was like some random military documentaries that we were watching, and I had kind of had this weird thought of like, it's so weird that Josh and I both have a lot of military in our families and he's never even thought about joining. And so on my break, I always called Josh between classes, and so I just called to check in, and I just had told him this random thought that I had. And he was like, yeah, you know, that is really weird. I've never thought about why I haven't thought about it. And he was like, I'm gonna do some research. I was like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. At the time, he was working at like a dead-end warehouse job with really long hours, lots of labor. He had been there about a year and a half, and he was kind of over it, and he knew that that's not what he wanted to do forever. He had made some advances towards like doing some medical career type stuff, but it just never really, he never really made it very far with those things. And so he was kind of just like a little disheartened. And I guess at the time it was like a moment for him where he was like, wait, I do need to like think of what I'm gonna do next. Like, where am I going with this? I don't want to be at this warehouse forever. And so when I brought it up to him, he was like, I'll just research it. And I don't think he even thought anything of it at the time either. Well, after a lot of research, we both were kind of like, wait, maybe we should do this, like active duty military. Or maybe he should do this, you know? And so we were like really heavily considering it. And we finally decided to start kind of letting family and friends in on what we were talking about. And a lot of people had opinions. Some were for it, some were against it, some didn't really know. And I think at the end of the day, nobody really thought it was gonna happen. I really don't. I think everyone kind of thought that it would fizzle. So fast forward to April. It's Easter weekend, and we, at that point in time, had kind of definitively decided we were going to talk to a recruiter. We were going to make things happen. Well, on the way home from hanging out with some friends, we kind of had this weird like conversation with them where we were like, well, maybe we should just do something else. And so we kind of had like formulated with them like a new plan where, you know, he would still do something career-wise different, and we would move and kind of do some things different. But we were in the car and we were just like, man, this is so weird. Like, we keep jumping from thing to thing. Like, 1 minute it's Air Force, 1 minute it's Air Force Reserve, 1 minute it's active duty, then it's nothing, then it's like, what are we doing? And so I just told him, I said, you know what? We're both obsessing over this. We're doing so much research. We're talking to so many people. And I know that we've prayed about it, but I don't think we've prayed about it hard enough. So I said, you be in prayer, I'll be in prayer. We're not going to talk to each other about it. We're not talking to other people about it. It's just going to be let alone for a while. So we pushed it to the side for about 3 days, and we decided this random third day, like, let's do an aptitude test for him. And I told him, I was like, you know, when I was in high school, I remember them giving those to us, and it was kind of helpful to kind of narrow down like what types of careers would fit you. And I said, why don't you just try that? He's like, well, I've never taken one before, but I'll try. So he takes this long, like 45-minute, thorough quiz, like aptitude test quiz, whatever. And at the end, it's like, you have to pay $10 to see your results. And so we were both like, okay. But I said, you know what? You went through the whole thing. If it helps you get to a career, then it's worth it. Then $10, it's worth it. So I was like, go ahead and just pay it, and we'll see what results it gives us. So the top result was biomedical equipment technician. What was crazy about that is that neither he or I had heard of that job until a few weeks ago when he put it on his list for Air Force. It was his top 10 jobs that he was going to take to his recruiter for the Air Force. So he and his dad had stayed with his dad one night, and they spent all their time researching jobs on the Air Force website, and that was one that made the list. But it's a military job, but it's also a civilian job. It's just fixing hospital equipment. And so we had never heard of it before that, though. So when we saw that on the top of our list, it was kind of like, because this wasn't an Air Force aptitude test. This was just like some random one on the internet. So we were both like, And we kind of had this moment where we both, I think, kind of felt like God was like, there's your sign, you know, like, here's your answer. And so we proceeded. So then by May, he goes and does his ASVAB, he scored well in physical, you know, all that good stuff. So then he swears into the DEP, the delayed entry program, and we're waiting for our job, or his job. It's not our job, I don't know why I'm saying that. It's our journey, but it's his stuff. So we're waiting for this job, and it was very nerve-wracking because at this point he knew he was shipping out, he just didn't know when, and he didn't know what he was gonna do. So it's kind of like a done deal at this point, right? So we're super like on the edge, and our family, I think even then our family and our friends didn't really grasp that it was really happening, you know, because we'd been talking about it for so long, and we had gone back and forth, and so they were kind of like, we'll see. So we're waiting for the call from his recruiter, and she calls and she's like, you got your job, it's, you know, what he's doing now, biomedical equipment tech. And we were both like, oh my gosh, like, God had just like perfectly orchestrated all of this, and it was so crazy. And then way later, after basic training, we found out how hard it is to even get into that career field and how sought after it is. And so we were both like wowed by it, and just felt so blessed and thankful that he got that job. And so then we went all summer knowing that was his job, and he shipped out end of September, and then he graduated basic training the week before Thanksgiving. And right after that, so the week of Thanksgiving, he arrived here at Fort Sam Houston for his tech school for biomedical equipment tech. It's a 10-month long technical school, which is really long. And so he's been here ever since for that. And then in January of this year, me and Sissy got to move down and live on post with him at his tech school. And so yeah, that is the story of how all this came about. It was some random moment and thought and conversation that got us 500 miles away from home and starting this like crazy adventure. So yeah, that's all there is to it. I want to post a lot more Air Force content just because it's kind of like what our lives revolve around at this point. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And if you are considering joining, your significant other is considering joining, or you guys just took this leap and you have questions, drop them below in the comments, and Josh and I both would love to answer them as best as we could for you guys. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will hope to see you in my next one on Wednesday. Bye.